3 between the two players. And that, I think, really speaks a lot to the styles that you were playing. I mean, one was you both were running out of ammo a lot. And so it was, in my opinion, kind of this weird mix of, I think you were both playing defensively to the point where you wanted so direly to control the items that you weren't thinking about what you needed in order to do damage, and in this case it was ammo. What are your thoughts?
Well, I was just trying to chip away at his health because we both were pretty high, but I just kept missing a ton of rails, and then that's when I started having the ammo problems and whatnot.
Yeah, that was pretty much the same thing I was trying to do. And then I started to lose all the control of the armors and Mega, so I couldn't really do anything around the end.
Yeah, and I saw that after a while, yeah, items did start to go in the other direction. Do you want to do this one more time, or another map? Or what do you guys want to choose here? It's up to you.
You guys done ZTN yet?
We started there, but I don't mind going back. So we'll probably do like...
This is one of the maps that I think has some of the crappiest first starts ever.
Right, which in my opinion is what makes it that much more interesting to do this kind of thing. So this is ETN. We're going to do a first spawn. They're going to spawn in and we'll talk about it, and then we'll kind of analyze things. So Vicious gets a nice plasma and yellow armor start, and Tilter is going to get... Now see, this is actually talking about a shitty spawn. In this particular one, it's one of the worst, I would say, because your options kind of suck.
Tilter has nothing virtually.
Right. So let's talk about this. He's got forever and a day to travel to the red. And quite frankly, Vicious could beat him there. And even if Tilter were to try to get it, he doesn't have any weapons. So red armor is not the highest thing on his list. Now, the one thing he has to consider, he doesn't, and let's assume he doesn't know where his teammate, and where his opponent is. If he goes immediately for rocket launcher, he might be caught out. There's a chance that he could be caught out going for that weapon at roughly the same time. Strangely enough, though, that probably is his best bet. The other option he has is railgun, but that's really not very good either, because, I mean, if like let's say his opponent immediately grabs, I don't know. Let's say his opponent's making an assumption based on where he's spawning that he's lost red, and he goes straight for mega. If Tilter goes down there and drops in on the rail, he could be eating. It might be an LG fight. You know, it's kind of a weird thing. Like, it's pretty unlikely that Vicious would go directly for the mega. Like, he's probably going to stop to get the armor first. But like I said, I mean, this is just really like the worst spawn ever. You know, you have crap, and crappier in terms of choices. In some ways, the safe bet is the railgun, I would say, because you can at least, you know, play defensively. You got the teleporter exit, you know, so you can get out of that situation. Chances are you're going to be facing off against, you know, someone with plasma or LG at that point. But like, say, if Vicious were to get the LG spawn, going for rail could really fuck him over, because like by the time he drops, he's facing off against a mega health LG, and at that point LG can just press in and try to close the gap where the railgun is less effective. So yeah, it's just like I said, it's crap, and crappier. So RL would probably be what I do, but I would be listening as I go for it to try to figure out where my opponent is.
I was waiting. I was gonna wait to add. If you really believe you got a crap spawn, then, you know, stay near something and then wait and listen, because not dying is just as good as fragging, right? So
yeah.
If you find out where your opponent is, then you can take whatever evasive, because you got to beef up. You got to get something worthy of weapon and armor.
Yeah. So
it's tough because you got multiple moving parts.
Yeah. which is why I love this game so damn much. All right, so let's abort this and we'll play a pair of frags here.
3, 2, 1, fight.
All right, so Vicious this time getting the kind of crappier spawn, but that's not nearly as bad as the one that we saw Tilter have. The reason why is because he's immediately on the drop to get rail. So, you know, even that travel time, you could see, had things gone differently, the travel time, you know, Tilter already had the Mega by the time Vicious was dropping in on rail. So Vicious couldn't even drop in and set up for a shot on Mega. So, yeah. And as we've seen, you know, Vicious has been very cautious in this particular opening, and it's really been the wise thing to do. He's done 2 rail shots to Tilter's 1, but Tilter, having the better spawn, has the better stack. So that 2 rail shots, while important, isn't enough to really open up the map yet for him, and he still has to be very cautious about what he does and how he plays. So with red armor up, now see, Vicious is actually in a bad way. He could get called out here. He gets lucky that Tilter went through the portal and it took a while for him to come down. Had Tilter gone directly through Mega Hallway and looked for a shot below, he could have gotten it. Shot from below, I should say. Now, Vicious, again, very smart to kind of back off. And nice trap here. And strangely enough, you know, even though Vicious was going silent, I probably would have expected something from my opponent in that area. I think Tilter was just looking towards center map. But yeah, very nice use of sound cues so far by Vicious. Let's go take a look at Tilter. It's kind of hilarious. Whenever you can see where they each are. So yeah, at this point, Tilter should know that Mega is gone, and it shall spawn no more. So yeah, so far, really great use of silent, stealthy play from both players. But Tilter here, I think, has given up a little bit too much, and not getting that red, he's kind of screwed. So he needs to do unanswered damage without dying somehow, and he's got nothing left. So that's first frag. Let's see if he can recover from it.
2 hits. Impressive.
Yeah, and what's hilarious about that is that Vicious just ran out of rail, so potentially Tilter might have been able to get away with like 2 health there or something. I don't know. Alright, so let's go for one more, and let's do another initial spawn on this map, and then we'll kick it off into, I guess like maybe a full-fledged game. So, don't stop after 2 frags after we do initial spawn.
3, 2, 1, fight.
Alright, so Vicious gets a railgun spawn. Tilter gets the yellow armor near portal. So in this case, Tilter is going to be kind of screwed for about, I don't know, 7 seconds without a weapon, which sucks. It just sucks. But the good news is that the chances that someone pressing in on him are pretty slim right off the bat. So yeah, Tilter's choices are pretty obvious. Yellow armor, making a mad dash for Mega might be a little bit risky without a weapon. So strangely enough, I don't know what I would do. I think I would probably listen first. Like, I would spawn, and even before picking up that yellow, I would try to listen really quickly just to hear if my opponent is up on, like, say, grenade launcher area. You know, that way, you know, once you pinpoint where your opponent is,
you sort of pray.
Yeah, but
You
see,
sort of pray that
I mean, yeah, because see, the problem here is that like Tilter's choices, they're not terrible, but there's a huge risk of going straight for that Mega. Yeah, and I think he's pointing out one possibility, but again, Tilter, you know, if you do that without any weapons,